Kulkarni, with a PhD in nanobiotech from the Pune University. He is also the founder and CEO of NeoDx Biotech Labs. A seasoned biologist with over 18 years of research experience, nearly 3 years in the efficient steering work encompassing the development of microfluidics-based nanotechnological solutions in creating products for in-vitro diagnostics. Prabhakar's core competency is product development, in-vitro diagnostics, infectious disease diagnostics. He has bootstrapped multiple startups. NeoDx Biotech Labs for RT-PCR-based assays for molecular diagnostics is his current venture. This company manufactures RT-PCR testing kits and in less than a span of a year has manufactured more than 6 million kits. Dr. Prabhakar, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for the work.
Let me start with this. What is your motivation to becoming an entrepreneur? Why did you get into this? What made you get into it? I see that you have a lot of holistic qualification, but what was the reason why you thought of starting a venture rather than joining any of the research programs or the other ventures that are already in existence?
So if I can define myself, and I think everything starts there where you are. So I define myself as an artist first, and a scientist next, and an entrepreneur. So as an artist, I've been a creator since my childhood. I've been a creator of multiple things during my school days and childhood, where I remember making toys for myself and other children. And my father was a science teacher, so we were always inquisitive about science. And instead of making only toys, we made scientific toys. And that passion for creation continued. I kept creating, and you can create when you explore. And then when I started exploring, then I got into typical questions like, what is life? Where did we come from? Those kinds of scientific questions. And that led to science, and I always wanted to become a scientist.
I would want to interrupt you right there and ask you this, because you said you had a lot of questions. And I have got to hear about another side of your personal life, which is a lot into spirituality. I believe that you tried to become a monk once. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I did take that passion quite seriously for some time, and that helped me a lot. Who am I? I'm a strong believer of Swami Vivekananda's philosophy and Vedanta. I have lived and studied in Ramakrishna Mission, and that actually made me an entrepreneur. Like, how did a person who wanted to become a monk who became a scientist and an entrepreneur? Because as an entrepreneur, my creative instincts were encouraged, and I was able to create something. And when you create something, you can impact someone else's life. And when you have a tool which can impact somebody's life, you need to take it to those people. And entrepreneurship is the way. And that is the reason I had to choose this path.
But isn't it also that, when you do something, even your search for spirituality, isn't that a sense of accomplishment in itself? So why would you want to come here? I mean, if I was someone who went and tried to become a monk, I thought that would be the end of the line for me. That is the penultimate. What accomplishment did you hope to achieve coming from there to here to achieve?
Ramakrishna Mission's motto is Atmano Mokshartham Jagathitaya. So it is for self-realization and betterment of the world. And the betterment of the world can be done by solving problems, creating solutions, and taking the solutions to the world. And by being a science entrepreneur, so I have been exploring science and exploring nature, trying to solve some real world problem. And by solving real world problem, that is where I believe even that, seeking spirituality actually completed for me when I was able to create something for others.
When you say trying to resolve problems, trying to find solutions for the problems in the real world, even to solve a problem, there are obstacles that you have to cross.
Yeah.
And from your spiritual background, from your interaction with the Ramakrishna Mission, and after that, I'm sure that you have, I believe you also graduated in some studies from there as well,
yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Did that help you in any way in your current venture?
Definitely. So as I said, I'm an artist first, scientist next, and entrepreneur. And all these are so important. So artist, who is an artist? Artist is somebody who wants to express. And what an artist is doing is, he has a freedom to express. And a scientist is actually asking questions. So it is about freedom of asking questions. An entrepreneur is somebody who is making decisions, and there needs to be freedom to make decisions. And I think all the way, as I said, like I used to make toys for other children, and there was a creativity. And all these explorations have helped me, and all the products that we have developed in NeoDx, it is purely based on the principles of design and principles of manufacturing and principles of delivering the best and greatest consistent quality product, so that when somebody uses our product for testing other patients, it gives the best result.
Interesting. My next question to you would be in two parts. One, I'm very curious about the products that you spoke about. So if you could introduce me to them, or us to them. Second, when you are starting something, there is always decisions to be made. And you just said earlier that there are a lot of decisions that you have to make in life as well.
Mm-hmm.
And making decisions are not very easy.
Yeah.
Especially when you take a decision to start something from scratch, start something new, and walk a line that is not normally taught.
Yeah.
So these two things I would want you to tell me. In reaching your products and creating your company, what was the journey before that? What were the obstacles that you faced? What were the hurdles that you had to jump over?
Okay. I'll start with the second part first. Entrepreneurship looks like a solo journey, but it's not. And it is always better if we do it in partnership. So I have a long time friend for more than a decade who is a serial entrepreneur himself and a third generation entrepreneur from his family. And we together started this. And when you make decision, it is very important to work as a team. And I always say that we are blessed because of our team. We have a small team of 30 people right now. And we didn't start as 30, right? We started as 2, and then 2 became 4, and that's how we started. This particular company, NeoDx, Biotech Labs, was incorporated during lockdown, during the pandemic. When everything was shut down, we were looking around for carpenters and electricians and civil work, and from there, and developing products, right? So there were so many decisions which we had to make overnight. And it is always important to do a peer review among your team so that the decisions are made faster and made better as well. There's nothing called good, correct or incorrect decision. We need to keep making it, and that's the true nature of entrepreneur. And during the lockdown one, we were able to quickly decide that, okay, we were doing something else, and we quickly decided this is what we need to do to bring a great impact to the society. And that's when we said, okay, we will make a COVID test, RT-PCR test, and that's how NeoDx got incorporated, and we have all these products.
What are these products? Please explain them to me.
So molecular diagnostics, it looks like a tongue twister and a jargon for many people.
It is. In fact, I had to refer to my text to even to introduce you. The words were so complicated.
But when I talk to my family and my own parents and people who are senior citizens in the family and friends group, they do talk about CT values. They do talk about RT-PCR.
True.
Because COVID unfortunately has hit us, all of us. All of us have suffered. But it has also paved a way to new kind of science, new kind of technology, which was not easily available or easily accessible for general public in India. So what we make is COVID testing kits, which is very popular. Anybody must have given a nasal swab or oral swab. And what our product does is, once the sample is given and once the sample goes to the lab lab technicians take that sample and put it in an equipment using our reagent. And what it actually does is it takes out the genetic material of the viral particle and then confirms whether the person has COVID or not.
This is the RT-PCR test you're talking about, not the rapid test.
It is the RT-PCR test, and RT-PCR tests are most accurate, and they give 100% sensitivity and 100% specificity. Because what is important is when we detect viral COVID, particularly on a molecular level, we can get an exact result whether the person is positive or negative. And right now we have been hearing about all these variants, and the recent variant is Omicron. And our kits, which are already approved, one of them here, this is our 3-gene kit. We call it as CovidDx Mplex 4R. We launched 2 products for RT-PCR testing for COVID, and both of them we have been manufacturing from last 1 year. And as I said, we have crossed more than 6 million tests. And these products can be used for detecting Omicron as well. And we have been working with multiple hospitals and labs in the country for detecting COVID since 1 year.
Fantastic. So for the average layman, they only know that a swab has been taken and it is sent somewhere. They never see what happens to it after that. And then they get a message about the result.
Yes.
That is all that happens. So you are the people. You are one of the main companies behind the scene, what happens, especially in the COVID time.
Yes.
And I find that it is a very innovative thought that you've had to come out during the period of COVID, to come out manufacturing these kits, which I'm sure was not available at plenty during the beginning of the COVID days. Mm-hmm. And within a span of 1 year, if you've managed to cross and actually manufacture more than 6 million kits, I would say that is quite an achievement.
Thank you so much. It was quite hard because the science of molecular biology is there. It was existing. But we had to put together products, and these are highly regulated products. We need a lot of approvals, and our company has ISO 13485. That's a global standard for making any of the kits and medical devices. And we have all the approval from Drug Controller of India for manufacturing these products and supplying it to the lab, who themselves, each of those labs themselves will have multiple other approvals and provide the test results to the clinicians or the patients directly.
Does the Bangalore Bio Innovative Center, where you are right now, has this played any special role in all these processes that you have said? How has the center helped you?
So I always say one thing: we are existing, or we came to an existence because of Bangalore Bio Innovative Center. Me and my other co-founder were also incubated in the same Bangalore Bio Innovation Center, running our previous startup company for educational technology. And when the country went to the lockdown because of pandemic, we had to quickly adapt. And with one phone call, I got an approval to get access to the R&D lab here and start working on our research to develop these kits within this Bangalore Bio Innovation Center. Within 1 month, our product was ready. Within 2 months, our product was approved, and in the 3rd month, we were already in the market. And this all happened because of the great support from Bangalore Bio Innovation Center. And Karnataka and Bangalore particularly has an amazing startup ecosystem. And there are like so many startups who are working on each of the bits, components of these things. So we have easy access to all of them, and then we could put together these kits and also get all the required approvals.
A couple of months into getting approvals and then to finally start manufacturing your products is a very speedy process. I'm sure a lot of effort must have gone behind this.
Yes. Typically, it takes years to develop a product and get approval, and COVID did accelerate everything. And we had to put in like more than 18 hours of work every day, first 3-4 months. We've been continuing to do that.
And the rest of the world was sitting at home during the lockdown days doing nothing. You were working for them as well.
I remember driving on Bangalore streets where it was me and the road, right? So we did put a lot of work. And what we actually got is the great support. Because for a startup like us, the first thing is the space. The next thing is the funding. And the next thing comes people. We were able to put all this together. But the most important thing for a startup and an entrepreneur like me, when a product is ready, how would we take it to market? How would we announce it to the world that we also have a product? If at all we announce it, how many people will even come to know? And we got a great opportunity in Bangalore Bioinnovation Center and Karnataka Startup, where our products, these two products, were actually launched by Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Shri Ashwath Narayan. And when the products were launched by the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka itself, definitely the entire country came to know about it. And I would say that that was like a quantum leap for us.
I'm sure getting the Chief Minister himself to come and launch your product, I'm sure that would not have been possible unless you were under the BBC's wing.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
I believe that you have some more products that you have manufactured. Am I correct?
Yes. So we have been innovating and we have several products. We also have this product which is for black fungus. Everybody must have heard about it. That has become a big problem in COVID patients. So we have a RT-PCR kit for black fungus. And we also have a self-testing product which is for self-testing COVID at home. And we, being an R&D company, we have been working on multiple non-COVID products for various other infectious diseases, may it be infectious disease or cancer or even some personalized medicine related work. So we have been launching more and more products. And this is all this work, R&D work is being done here in Bangalore Bioinnovation Center. And in a close proximity, we have a state-of-the-art ISO 13485 certified manufacturing facility where we are manufacturing products.
Excellent. Where do you see your growth? Where are you headed to? Let's say about 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
So we, NeoDx wants to become a global company. And I think we have all the ingredients required, which is basically the talent and the scientific accuracy and the experience required for it. And when we talk about a scientific concept becoming a product, it goes through a different journey, where there needs to be a form factor, there needs to be a design, there needs to be usability features considered, and at the same time all the regulatory approvals required. Getting a regulatory approval is not an easy thing. We already have European approval for these products. We are waiting for US FDA as well. Being such a small startup which got started just an year back and doing all this in shorter period of time has been challenging, but we have got immense support from everybody around us. And we see ourselves as becoming one of a global company from India, developing and manufacturing for various other diseases, diagnostic kits for them.
I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you there and be able to talk to you again in a couple of years once you reach that platform. All these factors that you said, you had the talent, you had the exposure, you had the support. Is there any specific factor that you would require to get yourself into this global stage?
Entrepreneurship is all about teamwork and partnerships. And ecosystem helps nurturing any of the company. Each of us as a startup are like a seed germinating into a small plant. And if there is no ecosystem, we cannot grow. And the ecosystem is in simple words, it is somebody who needs the product. And we as a technology entrepreneur, we need to develop something which is needed. But even before that person or a customer buys your product, it needs to get validated. And right now, because of COVID as well, we have an amazing ecosystem in the country where our products get validated and gets accepted. And if a product is approved in India, it's not that hard to get it approved in an international market, unlike a few years back. So we have been looking for multiple partners across the globe where we would like to partner with them, work with them, and also co-develop as well as take our product to market in their specific country. And that's exactly the kind of help we need, and we are definitely getting that help from Bangalore Bioinnovation Center and its extended network as well.
You have, as we spoke at the beginning of this interview, you have changed your path from spirituality to a venture, a business, a model which contributes to society at large, especially in today's trying time. Has this affected you? Has this changed you in any manner? When I say change, the normal question I would ask an entrepreneur is that, after your entrepreneur journey started, after you started your ventures, started facing your obstacles, there are certain changes that happen within you, your attitude, the way you approach things change. But you, for one, have started this and come from the other way around. People normally set up a venture, they get settled in life, and then they move towards spirituality. You started from the opposite end of the road. You have started experimental spirituality, been there, done that, and then you have stepped back into serving society, and therefore you have created certain ventures, not just this one, but you were also a serial entrepreneur. You have had other success stories as well. But in starting this and coming from there to here, how would you describe the changes that you have gone through as a person?
I would not say it's a change from spirituality to entrepreneurship or business. I would say it's an extension, because as I said, like Atmano Mokshartham Jagat Hitaya, which is like self-realization as well as betterment of the world, because ultimately what is required is giving back to the society. And being an entrepreneur is very, very important. And this in this kind of economic state of the world, of capitalism and globalization, it's very important to create jobs. It's very important to create an opportunity for yourself and others. And I do not see myself leaving my original goal of self-realization, I would say. Rather, these are all ways to the means. And of course, there have been a lot of changes. Of course, I have also got impacted by various hardships in business. But what is more important is we need to stick to our core principles. And we believe in strong business ethics. And from a technology point of view, it's all about quality and consistency and great innovation. And each of my, traits, like being an artist, being a scientist, interest in spirituality, and I'm an environmentalist, I do a lot of work there. I think all those aspects of life and then experiences actually enrich more what you're doing. And right now, the problems that we are solving are also based on the previous experiences in the different domains of life.
Not only are you a gold medalist in the University of Mysore, you have also been very active in theatre. When you say about that you need to remark about yourself as an artist, you've been into theatre, you've been a sculptor, and you've been into various kinds of segments of artists. Now here, when you have come from there and you again come into a venture like this, this is a very corporate world. This is a very corporate world. This is a very cold world. Whereas being an artist is something which is full of warmth, which is full of connection, which is full of creativity. Of course, the creativity does exist here as well.
Yes.
In another manner, as a scientist.
Yes.
But in that aspect, when you say you were a sculptor and you were sculpting out products like these now,
Yes.
instead of sculpting out figures,
Yeah.
as you have done earlier. So clay has turned to biotech.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in that manner, do you think there has been any significant effect on your life or change that you have observed? Or has this contributed to your skills as an artist in any other manner, in the reverse order?
So that's a very interesting question. And I think this is a very important point for any entrepreneur. What I have been doing in creating different kind of forms of art and trying out different, like I always say that experimenting with myself, which is very important for an entrepreneur who is particularly developing products, which we call it as rapid prototyping or experimentation. And what's more important is we need to be able to create more and more prototypes and get it tested faster. Rather than waiting for the perfect design or the perfect product, it's important to create a rapid prototype, get it tested and take to customers and get valuable input. As a creator, we will always have a dream. But as an entrepreneur, if I have to sell it at a cost to someone and the user or the customer's inputs are so important. And I think as a creator, those experiences help me in making better products, I would say. But at the same time, when I look back and do certain things, say, assume I'm making a sculpture, I would also think that, what should be the cost of material and how, right? So it does impact, and it's always important to take any of these impacts in a positive way.
What would your words of wisdom be to the upcoming entrepreneurs who will be watching this? What would you have to tell them?
Be fearless be stupid. Keep doing what you think is right, and you'll always be successful. And most of the time what happens is we look for feedbacks, which is very important. But at the same time, it's very, very important to do what the gut feeling says.
I also believe that you cycle to work instead of using your motorized transport, and you do not live right around the corner from your work.
Yes.
What made you do that?
I did not have anything when I was going to school, so I remember doing cycling. But now in Bangalore, there's so much of traffic. Better to cycle. You'll reach office faster on a cycle than in a car. And it's very important to maintain our fitness and health. And I think that has been.
I think your entire experience of being a mom, entrepreneur, to being one of the most successful entrepreneurs and a serial entrepreneur, that has made a definite impact on BBC and the ecosystem as well. You are a huge motivation to many of the other startups around here as well. I thank you very much, Dr. Prabhakar, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sujit. It was great talking to you. Thank you.
A pleasure.